So this TestNG is mainly for test next generation, and it is a unit testing framework. So even developers also can utilize this thing for executing for unit tested application before deploying into the QA environment, or and they will perform one round of unit testing, because even whenever QA team also can accept only the unit tested results, so that they may not be able to face any challenges when they are going to start either sanity testing or smoke testing, because sanity and smoke testing both are same only, but difference is depends on the company to company or client to client. The way they are expressing is different, because in some people if they may call it as sanity, some people they may call it as smoke testing. Okay, to ensure that the build is properly working or not. That's it. So if we are having 1,000 test cases are there, out of this 1,000 test cases, you can consider 10 to 15% of those test cases, and you can just have a round of sanity testing to ensure the conformity of the application. Okay, and this is mainly it would be applicable for even frequency, like prioritization of the test cases also. Say for example, out of 1,000 test cases, assume that every day you want to execute 70 test cases as a smoke testing. Every day you need to run this as a sanity part. Then around 400 test cases, assume that you may have the regression testing. Every day you need to run this kind of regression testing every day. Okay, and assume that there are 500 test cases, may consider it as a functional testing. So if you have this kind of bifurcations, then you need to make a suite, TestNG XML suite. We have in TestNG, we have a XML suite. So TestNG XML suite. So this is where you can able to make all these things as a group of files. TestNG XML suite. So within that XML suite, we can configure whatever you want. Say for example, if you want to execute a group of test cases under a sanity or regression testing, so we can club all those things and you can execute the particular XML suite, so that that specific suite is going to run whenever you want. Similarly, you can prioritize the test cases also. Prioritize the test cases. What is meant by prioritizing the test cases? Basically, suppose if you do not group all the test cases in the way we require, out of these 1,000 test cases, which is going to be run on high priority basis, or you don't have enough time to run the test cases. So at least for some test cases, you want to give some priority. Okay. By default, all these cases are executed in an alphabetical manner, alphabetical order. Okay. The moment when you use priority, priority is equal to 1, then it will treat this as a priority 1. Similarly, priority 2, priority 3, like that. First, they will consider which all are non-prioritized cases will execute first, then it will go for the priority level. Okay. So apart from this, suppose if you want to skip some test cases because you don't want to execute some test cases out of these 50 or 100, then you can go with the enabled is equal to false. We have a method called enabled is equal to false. So this is where we can able to make use of these things. And if we have test cases which is depends on the other test cases, then we have a method called depends on method. Depends on method. So we can use with the help of depends on method, we can configure. So say for example, you are having create order is there, create order. then you have delete order is there, or assume that you have a modify order. Say for example here, delete order always depends on the method create order, because if you don't have any create orders, then it won't allow to delete any order, right? This makes no sense when you don't have the create order. That's why when you are deleting any order, if you have depends on method, until if you have this method, then only this is going to be executable. Otherwise, this is going to be non-executable. That is the reason why the method we can call it as a depends on method. So these all are the prioritizing or sequencing. So prioritizing and sequencing the order of the execution. Sequencing the execution of test cases. Okay. And apart from this, there is a beautiful concept in TestNG. We have annotations. Annotations. These all are very powerful in TestNG because the way how the annotations are going to work in TestNG, that makes you more reusable methods. Say for example, reusability or code redundant. What is meant by code redundant? Code redundant, code reusability.
Like same code we can use in different places.
Correct, because that means you can avoid unnecessary code also. Okay, so for that purpose, we can consider it as a code reusability. Wherever you want, you can utilize the code redundant. We can avoid that unnecessary code also. Okay, and we have at the rate test annotations and at the rate before method, then at the rate after method. Okay, at the rate before class, at the rate after class. So these all are the different annotations which we can come across in this. And we have at the rate before suit, after suit, and at the rate before test, after test also. But initial level, you just have a practice with these annotations, and then we'll jump into the other as well. So as and when required, right? So once if we have comfortable on this, then those won't take much time. Okay, so just only implementing those annotations, that's it. So here now what I will do, in order to jump into this TestNG, first of all you should have the here you can install the TestNG plugin. If you are going with normal Java project, then you can go to the help. Under that help, you have the Eclipse marketplace. Okay, so once you go into the Eclipse marketplace, just search with the TestNG tool. Okay, so here I can search with TestNG. Okay, then I will click on go. So the moment I use it here, right? So you have this TestNG for Eclipse. Okay, so you have to install this, because if I not install, then I will show here as a install, but I have already installed here. That's why it is showing installed. Okay, so if you also already installed, then it will show like this, installed. If you have not installed, then it will show installed. Then just click on that install option, and then proceed for next, and you can complete that installation this TestNG within this. So the moment when you have completed this installation of TestNG, now when you go for any project, say for example, I am going to create one new project, one Java project. Okay, so okay, so here I have created one Java project. So now I will create a one package. Okay, under this package, okay. So here, whenever you are going to create a normal Java project and when you are going to create a class, normally you people will create a class here. But when you go for TestNG, you just go in other class and here you can search the TestNG class. Rather than normal class, you can go with TestNG class. Okay, so here we have this annotations. So now I don't want to select any annotations. I will just simply click on this TestNG project. So the moment when you click on this TestNG, you will see some error messages here. Whenever if you are going with first time, right, you have one TestNG library. So you just have to add that TestNG library. Okay. So here you can add, you can move the cursor on this and here you have the add TestNG library, right? So just click on this. Okay. So once done that, it is going to be done. Here, the beautiful concept here also, it will generate that reports also automatically. HTML reports also, it will generate automatically. Okay. So now here I have created one test here. And here I am going to create a, see, assume that you have some application, this one, right? Say, now I am going to,
So what is that report called, which is generated automatically? What is
which
the
one?
type of report called?
HTML reports. I will show you that. Okay.
Okay.
Because we have our own customized also. We have Allure or another type also we have. But here in TestNG, it will generate normal HTML reports. Once you done the execution, then reports will generate automatically. That is what we are going to see. Okay. So here I have S1, right? See, now my intention is I have to log in and then I have to create a customer, create a user. So this delete user, modify user. So all these things I have to perform. So for that purpose, what I will do? So this one. Okay, so here we have one login application. Okay, I will just take an example of this application. Okay, under this application, once we get into this, we have like create customer, create user, like multiple tasks options are there, right? So based on that, we are going to create here. So we are going to generate some test cases first. So the test cases are like login. Okay. Then first is how many test cases we have here. So launch the browser, then login, log out, and close browser. So in between this login, once you log in into the application, you have create customer. Then you can have the edit customer, modify or edit, both are same only. Then delete customer. Okay. So similarly, we have the user task is there. Create user, modify user. Okay. Then we have some reports are there. So if you want, we can use that reports also. So click on reports and just generate reports. Okay. So now my intention is once we launch the browser, when we are getting into the application, you just log in and then you see the home page. Under that home page, you have tasks bar. So once you click on the task, you have the option to create a customer, new customer. Okay, then edit customer, delete customer. These are the actions I have to perform. So initially, I'm just creating a skeleton of this program, skeleton of the application. So once we created this skeleton of the application, then we'll go for the implementation of the code. Implementation of the code. Okay. So right now we are just creating a skeleton of this program only. So in that case, now I have one method called here create customer. Okay. So under this, I will have system dot out dot println customer created successfully. Okay. See, whenever you are creating these packages, right? So you have to be remember the package naming conventions here. So for each and every methods or every class, you can create a one package. Okay. So how to create that package naming conventions? Whenever in a real time, you can just remember that package naming conventions always should be your domain name, then domain name dot, if you have the company name, then you have project name. Once you done the project name, then under that project you have multiple modules, right? So you can use module name. Okay. So under that module you may have some kind of features or functionalities, then you can use that particular functionality, or you can create. This is the way you need to create the package naming conventions. That means that here, suppose this is the package name is there, right? So now, suppose if I am going to give the proper naming conventions, then you can go like this, because that should not be a duplicate in going forward. That's the reason why we are going to use the specific naming conventions, because tomorrow there is no any duplication on that. Okay, so here I will use com dot active time dot, then we have, so here you can use your company name dot active time dot create customer. Okay, so rename sub update references. Okay, so this is one. So this is a create customer. Okay. Now similarly, I am having one more customer, one more package. So create user. Okay. So similarly, I am going to create just here. Okay, so here you can use the TestNG class. This is the class which we have used, right? So now here also I am going to create one TestNG class. Go to this users and then TestNG class. So here I am going to create a create user. See, we don't want any subfolders here. Okay, so just to remove all these things until here. Okay, otherwise, those all are going to create a new things. So here we have created one new user here. So similarly, I will create a one more here, create user. Now I am going to create a one more class, delete user. So here I will create a modify user. Okay.
What is that, sir? Like in white color, it came in package symbol, com.com,
Which
com
one?
dot, above, yeah, yeah, com
This
dot,
one?
below create user.
Hmm. No, actually
Yes.
this is modify user only. I'm just creating one. See, under this we have create user, right? Here we have created one class, right?
Okay.
Create user.
Yeah.
Similarly, I am going to create a one more class here. Say for example, modify user, and here also this is assume that we can use the renaming rather than new test here create create customer. Okay, so now here we have the create user. So in here only we are going to create a one more class, TestNG class. So here modify user. That we don't want all these things. So you can just simply form dot. Okay, now under this we are going to create a one more TestNG class. Okay, so here we have the, similarly we can create a multiple here, modify user also. Modify user. Okay, so similarly, these all are the multiple test cases, right? So you can have this. Okay, so similarly here also create customer. You can have the multiple TestNG classes. Say for example, edit, edit customer. Okay, so assume that these all are the different packages are there. Under these different packages, we have different test classes are there. So now I want to create a method here. This is a edit customer, right? So edit customer. Okay. So here we have the statements system dot out dot println edit customer successfully. Okay. So now if I will execute this, because here we have the at the rate test annotation. Normally when you execute a normal class, what is required? If we have a normal test class, then you need the main method, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But here you don't want that main method, because that at the rate test annotation itself, it will execute the program TestNG test.
Okay.
Okay, so it will run this. So you have this edit customer successfully. Similarly, I have this create user also, create customer. So this one is create customer. So now if I run this, then it will execute this create customer. Okay, so this created customer created successfully. But here each and every time I'm having different. So what I will do, here we have the different annotations, right? So I will create a multiple annotations here. So where we have create customer, delete customer, modify customer. Okay. Here I am going to use mm, login method, because in order to do this create customer, you have the login method also, right? So login should be successful. And then you have the logout.
Sir, you said like at test only will act like main method, no? Like here, three, four test methods are there. Like which will execute first, like one by one only.
That's what I will come to that only. I will come to that, because what we have discussed at the rate of sequencing, by default it will get the alphabetical order, right?
Okay, okay,
Okay, so initially it will get the alphabetical order. Now we have the login, logout. Apart from this, we have to launch the browser also, right? We need to have the
yeah.
launch the browser also. So we have two more. I have two more methods here. So here you can use launch browser. Okay, launch browser successfully. And then we have close browser successfully. Close browser. Okay, so here, okay, so now we have different methods are there here under this. So now if I will execute this, see here we have executed, right? Create customer created successfully, launch browser successfully, log out successfully, close the browser, customer created successfully, then login should be successful, created, customer created successfully. So here we will have this created customer, and here we will make it log out, launch browser. See now how the sequencing is happening here. See now customer created successfully, launch browser successfully, log out successfully. But this sequencing, it's not a order, right? Because it is fetching the, as we discussed that it's print in like a alphabetical manner, right?
Yeah.
Okay, see if we can see this, total 7 are there. Say here, because this is a, see, create customer, then launch browser, but log out. These all are unordered manner. But our intention is what? Initially, we will have to launch the browser. That is our first step, right? Launch
Yeah.
browser. Then second is login. Okay, so and here first thing is launch browser, then login, then use the functionality, create customer, right? Create customer. Then you have to perform, because before login you have create customer. Once done this, you have the modify customer. Okay, modify customer, then you have delete customer. So all these functionalities done, then it will go for the logout. Okay, so then you have close browser successfully. So this is the sequence what we are expecting, but we are getting in different manner, login, logout, modify customer, and launch the browser. Okay, so these all are kind of unordered manner. Okay, so but we are expecting in a sequencing manner. So for that we will have to do sequencing operations, or we will have to use the priority. Suppose if I use here as a priority, according to that it will execute the test cases. Similarly, now I have this create customer. So similarly, if I want to run edit customer also, for all these methods I required, right? So what all are the methods under this, like login, logout, launch the browser, open the browser. I required all these common methods, right? Login, logout, all these
Mm.
methods.
Yeah.
So now I can use all those methods here also. See now if I can run this is also going to be edit customer successfully, and it will print all the methods. Okay, so here we have 5 methods. See that means that each and every create user also. Suppose if we have create user, now here also I need, okay, so I need all the common methods here. So because these all are the functionalities, right? So I required all these methods. So now here So create user successfully. So for each and every test case, we are creating some common methods and still we are executing the application. Okay, see now here, create launch browser successfully, then log out, then close browser, then create user, and login should be successfully. So these all are unorderly, it is executing the functionality, but in real time, now see, first of all, launch the browser, then it should go to the login functionality, but here it is directly going to the logout functionality. So that is won't happen. So that's why we are going to work with our sequencing order, or we need to use the annotations to avoid these things. We can use the annotations only. Okay, so up to here, are you clear? We will connect on the
Yes, sir.
same link, Srivalli. Again, you just click
Okay.
on the same link and join. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So priority and sequencing both are same only.
Yeah, correct. Both are same only. I will tell you in a few seconds. I will tell you that. Huh?
Okay.
Okay, so here only at the rate test we have to use the prioritize that sequencing.